We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
What do you want to do now, Cap?
The same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
Oh, that's right. We are fighting them, as always, until we can't. What is up, people? It's great to see everybody here on Tuesday, the 12th of July. And, we've got Tommy back, so it's going to be a good day. And I see a lot of our friends in the chat, which is awesome. Keely Chow is here. Troy Pacelli is in the house. Our good friend from Chicago, Miss Chicago. I ought to just call her Miss Chicago or Mrs. Chicago, depending. But Tina Bojan's in the house. Great to see Tina. Of course, we have Pinochet's Helicopter Tours. Tony, what's going on, buddy?
Yes. I love that name.
Yeah.
That is perfect.
Pope Metallicus is here. Hail the Resistance. Hail the Dix Division. Yes, indeed. Matt, Small Time Republic is here. Hail, the globalists can get wrecked. Yes, they can. And we will talk about that. That's a big point about the show today. Small Time. So that's awesome. Godzillionaire, my brother, is here. He is the kaiju man. I am the kaiju dog, and we have a kindred spirit. Lasso of Truth. Great to see Trina in the house. Soul Assassin is also in the house, which is awesome. He says, I am more than a taco, most likely a burrito. And hail to our good friend Chris Fisk. As always, great to see you, Chris. I hope everything's going well with you, man. Up at the top of the chat, I do have the PayPal pinned up there. You can help support the channel if you click that, or you can go to givesango.com/Taylor Legacy. That's where Mom's Memorial Fund is. And you can use the exclamation point tip command in the chat because, folks, my monetization got pulled by YouTube, and they still haven't given it back. It was pending. Supposedly, I have to re-verify all my stuff, which is funny because I did that the first time when they gave me the monetization go-ahead. And they somehow still said that it was no good, whatever. I don't know what their problem is. I think they're just trying to mess with me. But anyways, the bottom line is right now, other than these methods, I'm not monetized. So if you want to help, that's the way that you can help the channel. And boy, you guys know the situation. I'm certainly would welcome the help right now because it is indeed a struggle. I had the funeral home call yesterday looking for payments on mom's final expenses, and I haven't even gotten to that yet. So,
Drew, you know what you're supposed to do. The minute that they call, you're supposed to just stop and say, "Hey, the check is in the mail."
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start telling them that, but it's just it sucks, and so many people around the country are going through bad circumstances and everything else because of the fact that oh, by the way, today we just sent another 1.8 billion over to Ukraine again. When does it stop? When does it stop? When do we stop selling out the country? At this point, I think one of two things: either they're sending money to Ukraine in the form of hush money so that they don't disclose to the world what they have on the Biden family, or they're sending it over there just to purposely, again, as I've said before, my theory is it's like a currency dump. They're just literally dumping all the money out of our economy for nothing, under the guise of, oh, we're helping the Ukraine. No, beyond this point, you are not helping anymore. You are just giving away money. So, and I think people are aware of that fact. So that is a big that's a big it's just a big farce. Let's put it where it's at. It's a big farce. People know that. They can see right through it. I don't think unless you have to be the most stupid person on earth, or you have to be at this point one of those Ukrainian shills, one of those people that you see on Twitter. They have Ukraine flags in their bios and pronouns and the whole nine yards. Yeah, it's one of them. You have to be one of them to really not see what this actually is, because most common sense people actually do see what it is.
Well, do you suppose it's kind of like how the gangs would actually move into some of these inner cities when they were all trashed and they were messed up, and they would buy out these old complexes and they would turn them into crack house? Do you suppose maybe it's a Hunter and Pop Pop's rock house that they're building over in Ukraine? That's where all the money's going.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong, Tommy. It is kind of almost like that that sort of concept, isn't it? It's pretty crazy. The Troy Pacelli said, and what's up, Troy? Troy was awesome last week when we had him on the panel. He says Ukraine is the last stand of the globalists. That's why they will give away the treasury they can't afford to lose. Yeah, unfortunately, but as it stands right now, you're making the situation at home even worse, because we talk all the time that all this minutia and window dressing you see, the quote racial divide, the religious divide, all the dirty, unhanded tricks that they try to divide us. But what it really comes down to, and you guys know this because you're smart viewers, you're a very smart audience, that it is a class issue. They're trying to make the class divide worse, which is why they essentially torpedoed the middle class. So, what you're seeing here is them making it worse on the poor, and those in similar circumstances even to what I have. Man, it's terrible. I'm sitting here with a $500+ overdraft now because I accrued fees on top of the $432 already was. But you have a situation like that where there's just no money. Period. There's no money coming in. Can't pay the bills, whatever, and they make it even worse. The inflation makes it worse, and then the available help that the poor can get is almost non-existent now, because those avenues are affected when you give away these gobs and gobs of money overseas. And hail Gap Stargate, Gap After Dark now, as it were.
Nice. What up, Gap? Well, you know what, Joe? I mean, this is obviously it's all been purposely planned exactly the way it is, and it's really not so much that they're going after just the poor; they're going after the middle class and the poor,
Yes.
because these are the people that are part of the resistance that is fighting against everything that they are cramming down our throats right now. These are the normal, everyday people, the moms and the dads and the family, you know, groups of people that are just tired of hearing all this nonsense. They're tired of having all this shit crammed down their throats. And they're the ones that are standing up and they're saying they've had enough of it. These are the ones that are showing up at these school board meetings and they want the entire school board outed because they're just tired of the agendas that are getting pushed into schools. And they're going to all these meetings because of the taxations and everything from the COVID nonsense and on. Those are the people they are trying to hurt because they're the resistance and they want to take all the money away from those people. Because once you take everybody's ability to even take care of themselves on a normal everyday basis, it gets harder and harder for those people to be able to stand up and fight for what's right at that point because they're drowning in their own problems. And this is what they're doing. They're trying to dishearten everybody by taking away anything that they can possibly use to support themselves and to continue this fight against this oppressive government.
They really are trying to take all of it away, Tommy. And Janet, I know you want to make your point. I just want to get to this chat real quick and then go for it. Tina Bojan says socialism has little regard for the middle class. It's all about securing and maintaining power for the ruling class. And hail to the lovely Sherry. Great to see you, dear. Thank you for being here, as always. Janet, go ahead with your point.
I was going to say that, them pushing this individual carbon footprint, on each of us, basically wanting to control that by simply making us pay extra because we fart or we burp, and now they control it because we eat. I mean,
I'll take gas any way I can get it.
They stop us from eating certain foods that will make us burp less and make us fart less. I mean, that's what kind of control these people want over each one of us. Mm-hmm. I mean, all you have to do is that link I just sent to us, our DMs in Twitter, is about the carbon footprint, about the 10 most horrible things that WF is trying to force down our throats, basically. And that's one of them. And but people don't realize how far they want to take it. I mean, think about it.
Well, Chris just hit on it. The carbon they're trying to reduce is you.
Yeah, it's us.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous and scary. Everyone should be scared to death about this.
Hello to our good friend, John DeVelvis. John shared an interesting story about how he came to start watching the program every week because John was paying attention to when we had Allura Jensen on. And then he stuck around and he went back and watched all the old shows, and then he's here every week. So John, it's great to have you, as a member of this audience and as a supporter of the channel, man. You are a real American, my friend. You are a patriot, and I appreciate that. And that's the people that I want to reach out to because this is who is in the fight. And Marby Dog, man, you're on fire with good points today. He said, if there is no truth, there can be no accountability. Postmodernism is perfect for politicians. That is spot on. Definitely. Absolutely. One of the things that, yes, Time Prophet, you are a real Brit, sir. You are, and you care about your country. I know that you do deep down. And, it's a shame.
That's right. Hail to the Limeys.
Yeah, it's well, it's a shame what they're doing over there too, and they're doing it all over. They're doing it there. They're doing it in Canada. They're doing it to us. Canada's getting it really bad from Trudeau, but he's not even hiding anymore that he's an authoritarian to the worst degree, and I feel bad for our brothers and sisters in Canada. I really do.
Yeah, I heard they were going to start fining people in Canada if they weren't using the COVID passport app. So if you don't use the app to have yourself constantly tracked and registered at every place you go, you're going to get hit with a nice little fine from the government. Who knows? It might just shut down your bank accounts.
So fines for refusing to be low jacked in Canada.
Yeah.
There you go.
That seems legit. That's on par with Trudeau and all his.
No,
little
I wouldn't say
power
legit,
grabs.
but on par, yes. Legit, no.
Yeah, well, it's not legit, but I mean,
Yeah.
given their standards and practices there of their wannabe tyrannical government I mean, let's face it, the I feel bad because I have a family full of law enforcement, but the cops up there are just enough. They proved themselves to be nothing but a bunch of jackbooted thugs in a lot of instances, and we've seen it. And I love saying that because they always say that about the right. So I like getting to toss it back every now and then, you know.
Well, ETEP, and they're running conjunctive operations with the UN and stuff because hey, during those protests, there were clearly people mixed in with the quote law enforcement that were PMCs, dude.
Yes.
They were PMCs. They were private military contractors, just rolling in there.
Yeah.
And treating people like they're some terrorist. And these PMCs, they don't have any. They're not bound to the law. So they're just beating the absolute piss out of people, and people just glossed over that. They never talked about the fact that
they don't talk about that. It's like the Patriot Front. I'm having dinner with my cousins who are both Wayne County sheriff's deputies down by Detroit, and we were talking about that Patriot Front and their matching khakis and their cute little outfits. And my cousin's like, he was sitting around with his buddies, they're on payday night. They went out for a drink and they happened to be on the news, or they were talking about it. And he's like, yeah, he goes, they're all like, them guys are nothing but a boy. They're all feds. Yeah. He's like, even the regular cops are joking around about it. They're like, he was like, that shit's ridiculous. He goes, you could tell just by the way they look, they're all cops, one way or another. He's like, it's funny, they saw the election shit firsthand, the ballot dumps down there in Detroit. They saw that shit firsthand because they both got pulled to work security.
Bro,
they saw him boarding up fucking windows and shit. Yeah, Patriot Front always has brand new clothes.
Yeah, they're keeping Gap and Old Navy.
I was gonna say I don't know about these days, but I actually used to call them the Gap Militia. That was my nickname for them.
Yeah,
Tiki Torch stocks have really gone up.
Dumpster when they're finished,
right?
You'd be able to find them.
Yeah.
Get DNA off them.
I wonder if they would sell more of those in certain places if they just called them neo-Nazi torches. I mean,
yeah.
Godzilla.
I stress certain places, not everywhere. It's all about your. It's all about your demographic, your key demographic.
Oh man, Christmas says, "Oh, khakis glow."
Yep.
CCTV says contractors who do the same job as troops is something I've been complaining about for 17 years. Yeah, and that's the problem. When you have guys that are just mercs and they don't have an oath to stand by, they're not supporting and defending the Constitution in the United States. They're not standing for anything. They're just standing for money. Their morals go out the window. And that's a problem because they're not reined in by rules of engagement or by an oath of any sort. And
so how are we supposed to fight against that?
Well, that's what worries me, Jen. It really does.
That's the $64,000
thank
question.
You, Drippus. I will. Godzillionaire. That was hilarious, by the way. The thing, JM 2021, he says, did you see Thor Trash and Blunder? No, I did not, and I refuse to see the new Thor movie because I know it is absolute garbage to the nth degree. Go ahead, Ita.
You don't want to see We Was Kangs and shit Valkyrie? Like I mean, like, seriously.
There was that great scene where they defended the Georgia Guidestones. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out so well.
it was.
They had Lady Thor doing it.
Yeah.
Didn't they tear down a monument in Charleston or something? I don't know. I thought that was part of the movie, but no. I guess like I'm not watching that bullshit either. I listened to Grace Randolph's review, and even she had a hard time keeping kayfabe and not just bashing on it a little bit. She was like, I'm just disappointed in the lack of Valkyrie in the movie. I'm like, oh God. Like, why would you be disappointed in that? And for some reason, apparently they gave Heimdall a son, which I'm like...
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so apparently...
We won't listen. We're not going to see it, but for those of you listening in, we're not going to see the movie.
Yeah.
But obviously, we have no problem providing spoilers. So
yeah,
wait. I got to understand this correctly, Etep. So you're saying Heimdall was gender fluid and he legitimately had the son?
He's a birthing person, apparently.
I mean, you'd think a guy who can see like everything everywhere at all times wouldn't have the...
Hey, Drew, you want to chime in here?
Keep his
that's why he
get some nookie.
That's why he let Thanos kill him. He was like, oh, fuck it. He goes, I ain't paying child support. Kill me.
Right? Yeah, no, I mean, but again, this goes to JM.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah. JM 2021. Look, the bottom line is this, and this is why, I do my channel the way I do it, because we can sit here and we can talk about pop culture till the cows come home. I mean, heck, I write about it for Mounting into Comics, but the problem is, okay, it's just one ripple in the pond. Why not just dive in and tackle the whole pond, which is what we do, because it's so much more important to understand where the roots of this is, because you can rail on pop culture and what it's done to, our institutions, with our entertainment escapes, everything, and it's not just movies, it's video games, it's sports, it's books, it's everything.
Sorry, go ahead.
But what I was going to say is, I kind of try to keep my eye on target, which is where this stuff emanates from. I don't mind talking about it here and there and glossing on some of the stuff and making fun of the woke stuff because it sucks. But, largely I like to get to the root of the issue, which is why I do the channel the way I do and why I do the show the way I do, because it's important, because, we can only really get to why our institutions are screwed up when we tackle what's actually really going on.
Another reason that I'm sure you do that, though, and we've had this conversation, the two of us, is the fact that everything that's going on, it's as if the globalists themselves have done their due diligence in infiltrating all escapist entertainment, injecting the overall message. Yeah, I mean, you have if you're a true patriot, you have to keep track of everything, whether it be facetious, escapist. It's all intertwined now. You have no choice.
Well, the thing, Will, if you control the message, largely.
And what better way to get the message across?
You control the hearts and minds. So, bam, control the media. Bam, control the entertainment. Bam, put the messaging. Put the
control Thor.
It started off subtle, but then all these woke things started popping up, around ballparks and around stadiums and things like that. It started out subtle, and now it's just in your face. I mean, you have BLM flags.
Well, you know what, Drew?
I also want to make the point, by the way, that we both live in the. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the things about it, and it's not to say that the stuff with the pop culture isn't important, but they actually rely on us talking shit about those shows to generate more interest. Because every time that we are hate watching it and we are talking about that kind of trash, it's actually generating more interest for people to want to go see it, because they're like, oh, is it really as bad as everybody's talking about? But when you're talking about the shit that the politicians are doing on the far other side of that coin, because the entertainment and everything is one side of that coin, and of course the politics and everything else that affects everybody is on the other side. When you start talking about that shit, they don't want you talking about it, and they want to silence you. They want to try to discredit you. You don't see the movie companies moving ahead trying to discredit or silence every single person that's talking about their shows badly. Why? Because it's generating more interest for their shows. That is the biggest difference.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to share something with you guys, by the way, because I saw this on Twitter earlier today, and I found an article about it. And I'm sure that you guys in the chat, you've heard on the news about the WNBA player Brittany Griner. She's detained in Russia, and so of course, we talk about the wokeness of sports. Well, it doesn't get any more woke and virtue signaling and idiocy than the guy right here from my neck of the woods, LeBron James. And I got to share this like super quick because this is just ridiculous. And this comes from the New York Post. LeBron James isn't sure he'd return to the U.S. if he were Brittany Griner. LeBron James does not think America has had Brittany Griner's back while she's been incarcerated in Russia.
Does he know where she is?
Yeah, he probably thinks she's in China.
He said. Now now I'm not going to read the whole article, folks, because we're not one of those streams that sits here for 3 hours and reads the articles. But I will just
plus that's what he would want. He wants us to get his point. He wants us to get his message across.
I will just this highlighted quote that I put right here. LeBron James said, quote, "She's been over there 110 days. Now, how could she feel like America has her back? I would be feeling like, do I even want to go back to America? All right.
Russian analog or America?
What has Los Angeles done to this guy?
Yeah.
All I gotta say is, if you don't talk, if you don't like America, dude, go play the fuck overseas. It's terrible.
He can go unhinge his jaw and take Xi Jinping's little tiny peepee down his throat and play over there in one of the Chinese leagues and score 70, 80 points a game and live in the communist utopia that he wants to live in. And he can take old Sasquatch from Russia over there with him. I did a story on the radio about her like 6 years ago about her beating on her girlfriend, her wife. And they're both WNBA players, which is funny because the WNBA has been subsidized by the NBA since day one, and it never let up because that league has never turned a profit in over 20 some years it's been in existence. It's a joke. It is a literal joke. And Brittany Griner was out there taking a knee and denouncing America, during the old Summer of Love because of St. Floyd of Fentanyl, praise be his name. Get some Fentos, the breath taker. They're wonderful mints. And if you want, we're also sponsored by Breathe Right neck strips. So
you can just buy some socks that have gloves that are sewed to them, so he can walk around with his hands around his ankles all the time.
Yeah, that's basically what he's doing. And Griner, she can sit there and rot. She broke the law. She took drugs into Russia. Do you really think that that's a good idea, given you're in a post 9/11 environment and
I'm not taking drugs through any airport, regardless of where I am.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't take drugs through Canton, Akron.
But they think they can do it because of who they are and who they're.
Of course, they're entitled.
Yep.
And sometimes they pay the price, and right now that's happening.
Holy shit!
Yeah, well, apparently
Jesus.
none of those idiots have ever watched that. What is that called? Locked Up Abroad. That
No.
show?
I love that show.
Yep.
I can't get enough of
Apparently
that
they don't
show.
watch TV. At
If,
least how we watch.
if this is true, Gap, man, this really fucking sucks, bro.
That's pathetic.
I'm in tour to jail for 30 days because somebody said that the American flag I used in my profile picture is offensive. Man, fuck that.
Huh?
Lindsay, our pal Lindsay is here. Lindsay is
Oppa!
LeBron James is the epitome of bitch mode. Yes,
I'm
he
a
is.
small park Greek. I'm allowed to do that.
Last of Truth says, who gives a fuck about Queen James? Let's talk about Hunter Biden. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, man.
That's true.
You know,
That's arguing with a hooker over coke, and yet the media is like, "Oh my God, did you guys hear what Trump did 6 years ago?" It's like, wait, what?
Godzillionaire says,
What?
Godzillionaire says, pray to St. Floyd with the rosary made of fentanyl.
That's right, baby. Pray to me. Praise be my name. It's me, Black Jesus, George Floyd.
Okay,
Is the chant for him just "I can't breathe"?
Yes, exactly. Mr.
It's
CCDB.
pitiful that we have to do so.
Mr. CCDB says, can you imagine what the Iranian hostages would have said to something like that? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Small Time Republic says WNBA loses about 10 to 12 million a year. The NBA season is good PR.
Look how we're empowering.
What's 10 to 12 million? A drop in the bucket to the NBA?
Yeah.
No.
Especially with all the tax breaks they get to put up new stadiums all the time.
You would think they were the Catholic Church. With the tax breaks. Nothing else. Just the tax breaks.
I was gonna say, is there something we did? Are they ordering extra cheese pizzas in Chicago over there in the Bulls locker room or something? What's going on there? Is Barry down there ordering hot dogs or something?
I see nothing. I know nothing. I hear nothing.
No, they just try to cover up people beating their wives in both the NBA and WNBA.
Well, yeah, and the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, Lindsay.
Kind of hard
Unless
to
you
walk around with your hands around your ankles.
Only if it happens in an elevator in Atlantic
Stay
City.
over there for a while, then maybe
I made the best gif out of Ray Rice knocking his in the elevator.
Was it like with the fist connected and her head bounces against the wall?
He hits her. You hear the Wilhelm scream. She hits the floor. She hits the floor. And then you hear
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look, I have a dark fucking sense of humor, and I'm a fan of like that kind of comedy to where it's like, Jesus Christ, you might as well be Don fucking Rickles. That was
I love Don Rickles.
Don Rickles is a god. A god.
Yes,
not the god, but
Mr.
a god.
Mr. Warmth. Mr. Warmth.
Oh, Jesus, man.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
that clip will never get old.
Somebody missed their Similac.
Just because that little end part. Yeah. Like in the audience.
Oh, we got to get one of him reading everything on the teleprompter, followed by the Ron Burgundy. If you put it on the teleprompter, he's got to read it.
Repeat the line.
Repeat the
Hey,
line.
hey, man! Why does it say repeat the line? Where's Hunter? I want that hooker. He was arguing with the smack over, man. Where's he at?
Oh, that reminds me. The other Hunter Biden video that came out, him smoking crack in a sensory deprivation tank and farting in the tub while he's at rehab.
Oh, man.
It fucking killed me.
Sounds elaborate.
Yeah, Darth News did a whole video on it.
Chris Fitz said,
my focus issues wouldn't allow me to like pull something like that off.
Yeah, Chris Fitz says lesbian couples have the highest domestic violence numbers by a mile, even considerably higher than gay male couples and interracial. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Trust me, Chris. My friend Jessica is married to a chick, bro, and I've seen them have crazy fights, bro.
Also, like,
so you're not wrong.
like gay male couples, theirs are pretty low because like you've got to weigh the consequences of punching another man in the face. Like he's not just going to go down and crumple. It's going to be an actual fight. You might lose teeth.
Well, I don't know. I always thought
girls.
I'm not touching that one.
Unless they're masochists. I mean.
Yeah, I always thought. I always thought. No, I always thought like
donkey punch doesn't count.
Yeah.
Well, see, you know what your problem is, Drew, is when you're thinking about women fighting, you're probably thinking about two lesbians that look kind of good, and you're not thinking about
porno
the
lesbians
in the relationship.
No,
you're not
Yep.
thinking about the
covered in
large.
mud
You're not thinking about
or
the
jello,
large marge
right,
of the
Drew?
relationship. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's
think
lipstick
Marge and
lesbians.
Darlene, or they're going to be brawling.
What did you?
Also, and it goes. I'm sorry, it goes both ways. It also goes both ways. That when you're thinking about two guys, you're thinking about two guys that like look like Hercules. I mean, it's not like that.
Fight like that.
Not even. It's not like that.
Man, have you seen some of those gays? Those dudes, I mean, gyms are gay churches. That's where they hang out. Those guys are ripped.
Not. I mean, I don't.
Some
I don't know. I don't know.
Not all of them look like RuPaul.
Listen, you can't see me from the pecs down. I call them pecs, but they're not. But you never see me from the pecs down. I don't spend a lot of time around gyms, so.
Yes.
I don't want to see him from the ab down.
Yeah,
I would.
They have.
Well, I think the important
thank you
question
very
that needs
much.
to be answered is Stephen, when is the last time you've been in church?
No. Not.
No. The answer is just no.
No, I haven't been to a church in a while. I got a solid gut going.
Let's address John's comment real quick. He said Biden repeated a lie about a 10-year-old girl who was raped and couldn't get an abortion, and the whole story was made up by a Democratic senator. Yes, that is indeed true, and I've been tracking that because again, that was supposedly here in Ohio. The sheriff's department said, "Hey, listen, there's a guy who actually went on with friggin' Tucker." And he said, there's no reports. There is nothing. We have looked into this. We investigated. Nothing. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So John is spot on with that. And John, thank you for commenting on that, by the way. It's a big bunch of nothing. But again, caught in a lie. I mean, these people are lie factories. They really are. They're lie factories.
And business is good.
I think he might have been reading his daughter's diary and just had a bit of a flashback to some family memories.
Yeah, that's probably
small time for Oh god.
Oh man, that's like a setup for a Far Side comic right there.
Oh man, Christmas says I feel bad. I've been to church more times than I've gone to temple. I also love bacon. Hashem, forgive me. Oh my gosh, I love this stream because it brings out the best in this chat. It brings out the best in this chat. Oh God! So, all right, the Georgia Guidestones. Well,
nice transition, by the way.
I can honestly say, with the Georgia Guidestones going down, I have this conversation with one of my other friends that is kind of into understanding what they're about and everything. The thing with the Georgia Guidestones is that you have essentially a monument to the New World Order, the globalism, the whole plan is laid out on these stone tablets, and it was no coincidence. It was built on a ley line. By the way, 666.78 miles from UN headquarters. Which that's not sketchy at all.
That's pretty close.
So it's built by I usually kind of try to separate the spiritual out of it, even though really it's not, because we are in a spiritual war as well. These satanic asshole fucks built this as, essentially a knockoff of Stonehenge. It is a cheap knockoff of Stonehenge. Because they even put the little thing in the middle, like, hey, look, we got a sundial.
Look, we have a sundial. Yeah. It's right 2 times a day. All hail. Yeah.
So, I mean, that was absolutely crazy. But the thing is with the Guidestones, one of two things happened. Either somebody said, we're done with this, and screw you, globalists, which I think that was the case.
I hope that was the case.
Or they were demolished afterwards, because the township that they're in, they demolished the rest of the monument for, quote, safety reasons. But it was blown up and demolished because that's signifying to the globalist cabal that the plan is indeed moving along. Now, I'm not going to rule out that second option, but I would say evidence that I've seen so far suggests that the first one is the correct one, which is somebody blew it up and said, F the globalists, this is what we are doing. We are pushing back. And, and that will lead us into our next topic, because we're going to talk about the global pushback. But as far as the Guidestones go, to me, I'm glad that they are gone.
I mean, it's one of those things with the Guidestones of there's so much that could be going on with them. Like, I know I've heard some people say that they're just supposed to be like rules for after society has collapsed and all sorts of stuff. But the writing is certainly sketchy as what they have on there. If keep population under 500 million, all the other shit that they say. But honestly, like most people, like I live in Georgia, we never talk about them. Like it was, I could have gone to visit them. In fact, someone had told me like 2 years ago that they had been taken down, and I just haven't gone to visit them. I mean, they were only like 2 hours.
How far off the beaten?
Yeah, and they're supposed to have
their
own 10 commandments on it. Those are the
how far off the beaten path were they?
They weren't that far, from what I understand. Like it's roughly like maybe an hour drive outside of Atlanta.
That's nothing.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it probably would have taken me 2 to 3 hours driving to get there. It's not that bad.
Avoid petty laws and useless officials. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Etep, what was your take on the Guidestones going down?
I wasn't really too familiar with them, but hearing what they represented, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's hilarious.
It started it, and the reason he did is because he wanted to bring attention to the Guidestone, so people will understand that these people have been at it for a long time, and they mean business. All you got to do is research why they made these and what was written on them, and I think a lot of people is opening their eyes to realizing, hey, this is right in the middle of our southern hemisphere that we didn't even know about. Millions and millions of people that never even heard of them until they were struck by lightning or whatever.
Guilty.
So,
that's as funny as that George Floyd mural getting struck by lightning and nothing else got hurt except it just crumbled the fucking mural.
So, I mean, I believe that it could be somebody's trying to bring attention to this and get people to start realizing what is going on around them without I don't know, without something happening to it, who would even known about it? You see what I mean? The same people would think about it, same people go see it or whatever, but now new people know about it and more people are researching and finding out more about it. So to me,
the only way to bring it out, the only way to bring the plight out into the light is to destroy it. Otherwise,
damage it, destroy it, bring attention to it.
That's the only, when's the last time it was in the news? I mean, if ever.
First time I've ever heard anybody doing anything to it. So,
All right.
Well, that's the first time I ever. I mean, like, yeah, everything. Nothing is. You don't know what anything is until it crumbles. You know.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
The memes have been great, though.
Yeah. In a few, Godzillionaire.
You know.
Speaking of that, Godzillionaire says in a few weeks we'll get the video from Hunter's iCloud of him blowing up the Guidestones because somebody told him there was crack underneath.
My dad told me they had Gorgonzola under here. I had to go for it.
Pinochet's helicopter tour says there is a ranger unit stationed near the Guidestones. If you saw the video, the dude who likes the det cord is in a full-on sprint. Definitely done by military dudes.
So I can partially explain what was up with that. So apparently what had happened was somebody threw some sort of explosive device at it. Now that wasn't the recording that was shown out of them actually like blowing up the whole thing. Somebody had thrown an explosive device at it and it had done enough damage to it that they just decided to go ahead and tear them down. So that's a legitimate demolition crew coming in.
Right.
Here's actually like an exclusive, like right after it happened. Here's the image that they got from the James Webb Telescope. Actually, I don't know why they were shooting the Georgia Guidestones with it, but that's what curious.
Oh God!
It was Lizzo. It was Lizzo all along, Austin.
No, actually, there has been some theories rolling around.
I got to start bringing props.
There were some.
I just made that.
There were some theories rolling around that it was somehow my fault because I was walking around the house and had a boner, and I knocked over the entire site of the Guidestones.
Damn, Drew, we told you to control that thing.
Drew's pseudo erection strikes again.
Well, hey Drew, I'm gonna buy you some blue pills because there's a few other places I'd like for you to go stand by.
This is what it's come to. Only Drew's boner can save us.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was bad and I thought it was bad when the country was putting all its chips into the Ukraine. You know.
Yeah. Hashtag beware the Drew. Yes.
Beware the Drew.
Great.
Oh, God,
Dollar General. They pop up everywhere around here. It's either going to be a Dollar General or a Chick-fil-A.
All right. Let's get into wait, Small Time Republic says Drew could sell tickets to the Ohio Monolith.
Please, for the love of God, folks, please don't humor him.
Oh my gosh, nice. All right, let's get into the main thrust of the show. No pun intended.
Oh my God!
And that would be what appears to be the global pushback going on against authoritarians and globalism in general. And there was one that just broke as we were talking. And I'm trying to find it because apparently there's something going on in Armenia. So I'm looking into that as if I can find it here because this is like it looks to be a huge protest, and I mean these people are just going for their government's throat.
Yeah.
And all right, here we are. So let me go ahead and share this. I think there's audio with it, but we'll see. So here is a clip. So this is in Armenia.
Oh, I thought that was like Wall Street. I'm like, what the?
You can hear the crowd. I mean, the roar of the crowd that's there. You can see the military there, but you can hear the roar of the crowd that's there. It's ridiculous. There has to be a huge crowd out there. But the tweet says revolution begins in Armenia as the people hunt down government officials. And this is what is happening. People
This is what they were alleging. This is what they were alleging January 6th was. That's what the left is saying. It's exactly. It's actually happening in Armenia.
Well, this Armenia is just the latest. I mean, because again, we talked about the what's going on in Italy, and then you have the ones, in Germany. It's been going on. They've been fighting. They've been protesting their government, but we just saw Sri Lanka.
That's what I got pulled up.
And the people ended up storming the presidential residence, took it over.
Yep, that's the first article I have here is them talking about the president facing massive protests unless he quits. And I mean, these people are starving right now, and this all comes from the lockdowns. We're not getting hit with the bad parts of the lockdowns yet, but it's going to completely destroy other countries around the world. And then the follow-up article for that, both of these are from BBC, is the president did flee the country in a military jet, so he got out of there.
Yeah. When this starts happening all over the world, they will introduce the new world army to put us in line. Yeah, and I fear for that time prophet, because again, and this goes back to what I was saying, the UN and the globalists, they have a sizable army. That's the thing they don't tell you. They do. They have a couple PMC organizations where they have battalion upon battalion upon battalion of soldiers. I mean, it's ridiculous. They have the military power of at least a small to medium-sized nation. So don't think that they're not stocked up. They are. But seeing this happen all over the world gives me hope that people are saying enough's enough, because it's clear that they are. The problem is, I say shame on America, because people are just sitting there and we're continuing to get browbeaten. And nobody had said yet. I mean, they've said enough's enough, and we've said it, and and we're doing things in our own ways, but we're not actually standing up and doing what these countries are doing, which is actually literally standing up to the government and say, "We're sick of you. Get the fuck out."
At a certain point, we were, and that's always been the mantra is we're the richest, most powerful country in the world. Apparently, there aren't enough starving people to want the head of the president on a stick yet.
Well, I don't want the head of the president on the stick. I just
figuratively speaking.
I just want to kick him down some steps. I mean, it's not.
You don't have to kick him down steps; he'll fall up him on.
I was going to say you're wasting your time. Yeah.
Hunger is a serious motivator, and it's one of those things. Things can get pretty rough here, but as long as we have food, as long as we are relatively comfortable,
they're giving us just enough.
It's just enough is all that people need to keep from revolting. Look at the inner cities that the government's basically been controlling for the longest time. They, through WIC programs and through welfare programs, they've kept inner cities at the bare minimum of what they need. And do these people turn against the government? No, they keep using it and they turn against each other. And that's what they're hoping to pull off here.
What they want.
Touche.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Do you want to address Trina's comment, Janet?
They don't care about laws. There are still people
for January
6th that haven't seen a courtroom. Yeah, that's exactly true. And it's sad that we have American citizens sitting in jail and they didn't do anything, and they haven't been even prosecuted or even brought up into the court to even face any kind of laws that they supposedly broke. And that's sad to be in this country and seeing that happen to people, and nobody's in harm, nobody's upset about it. Where's all the people?
Well, Lasso's right. They suspended habeas corpus.
We've gone from a writ of habeas corpus to getting rid of habeas corpus.
And
It's gone.
everybody's saying, how are we supposed to defend the Constitution when we don't have any judges or courts that want to defend it? Especially if they come in and they stop us from being able to buy ammo. How are we supposed to fight the courts to be able to buy ammo when there's no court that will take the case? See, that's what people don't understand. They're tearing the Constitution up using our courts, using every means they have, and we're just standing around letting it happen instead of saying, F you, we're taking our country back, period. Going from town to town and fighting back. That's the only way we're going to win.
You get the right judges on those courts. It starts with the Supreme Court, but people are realizing it funnels down. It funnels down to the local towns, hamlets, unincorporated places, what have you. I mean, it's a trickle down effect with that.
Well,
I was just going to say one of the best things that Trump had really done that a lot of people tend to gloss over is he had, what was it, like 130 federal judges that he appointed. And that did a lot to sway the court system into a more fair and constitutional direction. But unfortunately, the Democrats had been, before Obama, because he really kind of was lax on it, but the Democrats had been the ones filling up the federal courts for a long time. And that's how we see this two-tiered justice system coming to fruition, to where, people can full on burn down buildings, riot, kill, murder, and get away with it. They're in and back out the next day. But somebody takes a self-guided tour through the Capitol building and they're getting held without even being charged.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's trickling down to us, because every time a looter, or whatever you want to call them, walks into a store and fills a bag up with $900 worth of groceries and walks out, guess where they get their money? They get their money back by filing it with their insurance company, which raises the insurance rates in your state and every business. So mom and pop can't afford the insurance anymore, so they go out of business simply because they can't afford the insurance, and they're not going to get a new license to keep their business open because they can't afford it.
Well, California.
Tearing us apart.
Well, one of the important things to remember is, there's a case right now that happened in New York that I want to bring to people's attention, and I forget the gentleman's name off the top of my head, because I'm
Jose Alba.
Yes. He was a bodega owner, and he was defending his store from, and lo and behold, the assailant that was assaulting him was ethnicity we know well, and it's funny, because they continue to say that these people aren't committing a large portion of the crime when they're committing a large portion of the crime. And this man defended himself from the black guy that was clearly coming at him, trying to harm him, if not kill him. He ended up killing the guy in self-defense, yet he is on trial for murder.
Well, it's a bit worse than that, because technically,
it's not just that.
Yeah, you technically have a duty to flee, but he was trying to run away. The guy put his hand around his neck. Like, he's not choking him or anything, but, his hand comes up like around to the front of his neck to hold him there. The guy literally cannot flee from the situation. He had tried to just walk away.
And the guy had been recently... He's in a teeny tiny little cubicle.
The assailant? Or the assailant?
Have you ever actually been in a bodega in New York City? They're like the size of a walk-in closet.
Yeah.
I mean...
He was a tiny cubicle, and the assailant was in front of him, and he could not leave. And all he did what he had to. And I pray that they get to actually show the whole video in court.
Don't hold your breath.
Well, that angered the shit out of me. But again, this is a Soros DA. This is a Soros DA, and again, we go back to how the globalists are tearing down institutions. The justice system was supposed to be a cut and dry institution. That is not supposed to sit there and be torn down. We have to follow those processes, because that's how we keep order.
But
they're manipulating it
Well, the way that New Yorkers are dealing with it is leaving. The people are up and leaving the state, and once they're going to end up like California, where they're going to lose more and more seats. But the sad fact is, a lot of these people are going to go to other states and change the laws there from the inside out. Even worse.
And it's not hard to leave New York City. All you have to do is cross the river.
Well,
It's not hard to leave the state of New York when you live in New York City. All you have to do is cross the river.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure even Jersey doesn't want these people at this point in time.
All right, drive another 75 miles.
Yeah.
In any direction. I mean,
well, Chris Fisk is right. You know, we have the name and contact info of the DA that is terrorizing Jose Alba. You all know what to do. Make him an example. Let him know what you think. Yeah, call and complain. Now let these people know, you know, that this shit is not going to stand. That these Soros DAs, they have sat there and literally made crime, you know, they've turned a blind eye to crime purposely. They just let it get out of control, and it is designed to create chaos. They are enabling chaos on purpose.
Well, the same DA he released the assailant just a few months prior after the guy had assaulted a police officer.
Yep.
And it wasn't like a, resisting arrest kind of instance. The guy just attacked a police officer, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I believe he just walked up to the cop and attacked him, essentially.
But, this is what these countries, to bring it back into focus, this is what these countries are pushing back against. They're not going to have their countries turned into total shitholes. These are people that are patriots in these countries. So we just saw Armenia. It's happening in Sri Lanka. It's happening in Italy. It's happening in Germany. It's happening all over, from big country to small country. And there's a reason why it's happening. There's a reason why people are standing up. The farmers in the Netherlands, okay, the firefighters have now joined in with the farmers, by the way. That's just breaking as of earlier this afternoon, folks. The firefighters in the Netherlands have now joined in with the farmers. That is telling.
Excellent.
I do have an article pulled up on the Dutch farmers right now if you wanted to share that.
All right.
Yeah, and I do know a little bit about this situation. So the reason why they're cutting down, they're kind of pushing back on the farmers and trying to withhold them being able to just do their job is because they are having a very high increase in nitrogen emissions over in the Netherlands, and other countries, particularly Europe, don't quite have the extremely fertile soil that we have here in America. So nitrogen emissions can actually cause a lot of harm to their environment in the long term. However, there's multiple other industries that are causing as much, if not more, nitrogen emissions than the farmers, but they don't want to go over those. They don't want to go against those industries. It's their energy industries, which are all nationalized. And I can't remember what the other big one is, but car manufacturers. So they're not trying to do anything to change people towards, try and incentivize people towards using non-emission, producing cars.
Plug-in cars.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. They're going after the farmers, but I mean, really, like, your people need to eat. Why are you going after the people who produce food for you?
Because it's an attack on the food chain. Yeah, that's the goal of it, is to starve people.
Plus, if you get rid of a few farmers, you get to confiscate their land, and guess what you can build on it?
I know
the man-made food chain.
Places to make more tax revenue. That's what you do with the poor farmers who take their property from them.
Yeah, I'm going to give Etep his last word on the topic real quick, and then let him do his outro. So, Etep, what do you think about all this?
I want to see these Dutch farmers get given some tanks and shit. Let's send. I saw they stole one. I was like, there's nothing better than like a bunch of Dutch. Like, I would love to see like a bunch of Dutch farmers just flying the flag, rolling across the field, just firing off rounds. That would be just blowing. Didn't one of them like hook their tractor up to a cop car and like pull it off the road too? That's.
Yeah, dude, they're not fucking around.
Yeah, dude, these are the fucking heroes the world needs now.
They actually they bought that tank. They bought the tank. they started they did that to that cop car, and like some dude like just straight up hooked a fighter jet up to one of his
I couldn't even soup up a golf cart if I wanted to.
GTA Netherlands edition.
I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. But no, you can catch me. I'm headed over to the Clown World Review. My co-host Tony. We do the Monday Night War retrospective. We'll be talking about. I believe it's November. We're into November of '96 right now. Things are really good in both companies. So if you want after the stream, come on over and join us. And then tomorrow night, my Rogue Entertainment show, Wednesday night. Going Rogue, we have the members pre-show at 8:05. The big show's at 9:05. A Common Idiot is our guest tomorrow. He'll be joining Tony and I, plus another guest to be announced. But yeah, and then Saturday night's main event this week. And don't forget, I'll be making my return to the wrestling ring in the first weekend of September, last weekend of August for Shogun Pro Wrestling. So yeah,
dude,
I've got a lot going on.
E-Tep, man, you've really got to get over this way, and because now you got two people you can visit. You got me and Will. You can hook up and have lunch with.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, man, next time I come down to Detroit and I have an afternoon, I'll just shoot down there. Because it's only a couple of 2-3 hours from there.
Yeah, we're only about three hours and change apart.
The drive's as easy as it is boring.
Oh yeah, the last time I drove through Ohio. I was driving an Aston Martin.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I got to drive a brand new Aston Martin for a client of my dad's, which is fun. Anyway, but no, yeah, come on over and check us out. If you're not already subscribed, you can be a channel member if you want. Regular production. We're almost done building the studio. I finished the drywall Friday, and then I'll move everything in and kind of dampen the sound down a little bit and get rid of this echo. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on, and I'm still getting settled in the new house. So yeah, but I want to get back to producing videos.
E-Tep, you have to send me a picture of the singlet with the bulge, baby.
I never wore a singlet. I got the Rey Mysterio pleathers, baby. I wore the pleathers because me and my tag partner had like matching gear and shit. But we had our logo. We had the NWO logo, except we're team ratings. So, but yeah, so that's it. I got a jet. Thank y'all. Love you guys. This panel's amazing, and hail this chat, one of the best on YouTube. I'm E-Tep Okuin to the place to be reviews. Hey, wait, before I
Soprano style, I like that.
I love E-Tep, man. But yeah, this is I think the significance of all of these protests, pushback, whatever you want to call it, is the fact that people are starting to stand up in one voice and say, enough is enough. We're done with this.
Yeah.
Apparently, Mick Jagger shouted out
taking
the
their
Dutch
country
farmers.
back.
Nice.
Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
They're fighting for what they believe.
Spending $150 million on cocaine would make sense.
Definitely make more sense than sending it to Ukraine.
Yes, for sure.
If we only sent that much to Ukraine.
Yeah, I know. Oh, man. Well, yeah, I think that this is going to be the start of the grand pushback. Now, if the West is going to participate in this, it's another story. Because right now, Canada, the UK, and the United States are a shit show. They are a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you zoom out the lens, and if you asked people in other countries what they thought, rightly so, they would tell you the U.S. is the cause of a lot of this problem, and it is because we've had so many covert ops folks over the years, so many little private wars off the books, where we toppled countries' governments, installed ones that were supposedly going to play nice with us. We've done a lot of shit to fuck up the world. And it's been mostly, again, elites pulling the strings in the background and sending, in our little 3-letter corrupt agencies doing their thing.
Well, I wish we had. Everybody should take a good look at that picture because that might be us in 3 months.
Mm-hmm. And it's not, it's not just us too. I mean, Mossad in some of their corruption that they have, because Israel has a corruption problem in Mossad too. They have it there. You don't think just because I have no problem with Israel. I support Israel, but they have a corruption problem. Let's be real. They do. They have a corruption problem. A lot of the West has a serious corruption problem because it was easier to infiltrate for these people. And that's the thing. Chris Fisk, it all leads back to the banking families of Europe. Yes. And Trina adds on to that, which leads to WEF. Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's easy to infiltrate when everybody else is having to work for a living and pay their taxes, and they're all just using our money to wine and dine, pay for prostitutes and whatever else worldwide. I mean, they're all doing it, and they're all screwing their people, the ones that pay all the bills.
John says, did anyone hear about the railroad strike starting next Monday? I did actually hear something mentioned to that effect, John. So that'll be interesting.
Well, I occasionally see railroad workers at my job, so I might ask some people about it.
Well, I want to reference something before we get ready to go around and do the outros here. But I heard it was yesterday morning. I happened to be as I was drinking my coffee, I was listening to Glenn Beck. And he brought up a very valid point. Okay, think about this, because right now, especially here in America, we're on last year's harvest, right? So everything's fine for right now. We have enough food roughly in the stores and things of that nature to get through for a little while. But it's going to come and catch up probably, I want to say, in about a year, because this year's harvest is cut in half because of everything that has happened, and the food production facilities having all these issues, the whole 9 yards. So we're having the same thing that these countries are having, as far as them encroaching on the food supply, and also and the farmland, because don't forget, Gates bought all that farmland. All right, so what do? Well, when the food riots start breaking out, this will happen, and we're dangerously close to those food riots happening next year.
They really need to ramp up development on Soylent Green.
Yeah. Well, this is why they are trying to get you to, push it, be a celebrity, for the crickets and all that shit.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid, because nobody's going to eat that shit, and nobody wants to introduce bugs into their body.
Well, I hope that all the companies like Lowe's and Home Depot and all them that make a living off of us farming and taking care of our own crops and animals, chickens, backyard goats, all those different things that we do. I hope those companies are going to be backing us when we're having to do exactly what those people are doing right there in that picture. Do you think they will, or do you think they're going to collapse? Because they'll go belly up without us.
Well, we need to really take it seriously, folks, and eventually there has to be a line, and I think the line in the sand is going to be when people start starving. It really is.
And I just don't think that the American public, I think that most people here in America are pretty self-sufficient, but I think there's a lot of people, particularly in cities, who aren't going to be able to step up like we did in the past with things like victory gardens. I know a lot of people are starting to get chickens and they're getting their own eggs that way, and a lot of people have smaller gardens, but I don't think it's going to be as, prevalent of a thing as it was back in the 40s during World War II.
No,
A lot of the farmers went overseas. People started, trying to do their own by completely tilling portions of their front yard and growing vegetables there.
Chris Fisk says, I wish I owned land so badly. I'd have chickens and a few crops. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I think we're going to go around and we're going to let everybody do their outros. Before I do, I want to share something really cool with you guys because we had, don't know if you folks in the audience know, but I do have another show that I just started on Sunday nights where, I talk about something completely different, talk about the paranormal and stuff. And shout out to the Wake Down. The Wake Down made me a really awesome intro for it. And I'm going to actually share that intro with you guys like super quick and let you guys see it because, I'm really proud of this. And the Wake Down did a good job. So I'm going to let you see this. So this is the intro for our Sunday show called The Midnight Prism. And just I really wanted to show this off because he did such a good job on it. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you guys really quick. So check this out. So that is the intro to the Midnight Prism, which is really awesome.
Very good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop acid and put that thing on a loop.
I know, dude.
I don't even know where to begin with that. It starts off like you're watching an episode of 24. It goes into I can't even remember all of it. There's so many things that I felt like it was the opening to the Old Unsolved Mysteries show, the one that was hosted by Robert Stack.
Yeah.
Kind of juxtaposed with a little X-Files.
Yeah, and it fits the theme of the show so well because
I didn't cover half of it. I forgot half of what I was going to say.
On the Midnight Prism on Sundays, we talk about everything from Sasquatch to alien abductions to UFOs to God, you name it, unexplained phenomena. So that is what's awesome about that program. But that's Sunday, midnight Eastern, folks. If you guys are awake and you want something cool to listen to that is not the usual, that is not me ranting about politics, check that out. Because I really do like unexplained phenomena, but you guys know how my mind works. I have that journalistic kind of point of view. I want to know why things are what they are. I want to know, what makes something tick. What is the nuances of things. So, I really like to deep dive that kind of stuff. So, it's very fun and interesting. No, and that's fine. If you're not a believer, Time Prophet, that's absolutely fine. Because I welcome people that believe in the phenomena. I like people that are skeptics. Because we're all on the same journey. We're just wanting answers to what exactly the phenomena is. So, it's cool. Lassa says, if you show up if you feel like trolling.
There's always a reason. No matter how you feel.
Hail to Ruben Christopher Haynes. What's up, buddy? Yeah, you just got here as we were getting ready to wrap. And no, we're not turning into a rap group. No, we're actually gonna do our outros and take off. But
man, I've been working on my flow.
You broke another promise, Drew.
Dude, I know. I know you guys brought bars.
Well, we could have Janet as like the lead singer, and we could be backup dancers. Would that work?
You don't want me to sing.
You don't want me to dance.
All right.
I'd be behind the glass.
So we'll go with the lady of the panel, and that is Janet from Another Planet. Go right ahead, Janet. Tell them where they can
Thank
find
you so much, Drew and panel, for having me again this evening. It was very interesting, and hopefully you can come to my channel and check out my short little videos, because that's all I do on YouTube right now is shorts. And Monday nights I'm on Bruce's channel. We do movie reviews, and on Tuesday night I'm here. But thank you very much, and I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight, and I hope you come back next week for Drew's show.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Check out Janet's channel because she's always dropping her shorts.
That's right, dropping my shorts.
That's my opinion!
All right. We'll go over to the Italian guy.
I'm always devoid of puns. Every time I come on this, I have nothing. It is great to be back. I did take a hiatus. I'm a lot more alone on a Tuesday. Really? No, I seriously. Yes, I am. Thank you. I did feel a lot more alone on Tuesday, not doing this than I usually would otherwise. But it is good to be back, especially now. For those of you who watched tonight, things may finally be starting to happen. And who knows? The next time you're in traffic on the highway, it may not just be your ordinary rubberneck session. Who knows? Also, definitely check out our esteemed leader here, the Supreme Heretic himself, Drew Taylor, on his new show, The Midnight Prism. Yeah. Even if you're not a believer, even if you simply go on to troll him, which might make it actually more entertaining, who knows? Yes, I am. I wonder what gave it away.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so
but you know what, Trina? I never asked him to come over here and try to cook Italian.
Nah, why would I do that? I always come over hoping for nothing, for a few steak burgers and a little dirty rice. That's all I need.
That's right.
So much for, and I guess that's my conclusion. Who's next?
And we'll go over to Mr. Free Speech Gaming, aka Steven.
Hey everybody, this has been another excellent show we had here today. We had my face is hurting from the laughing we were doing today. I mean, we had we had the funny haha, we had the funny weird at the ending and a bit of serious in the middle, but this was another great episode. Chat, you guys were on fire once again. It's great coming here talking to all of these people every week and seeing all of the crazy shit you guys put in the chat. It's wonderful every time. Just to highlight, Glinzer recently put up what was it? Janet Knight and the Pips. That should be our band name. And our song will be the Midnight Train to End Globalism.
I haven't heard a better name for a rap group in my life.
Right? Yes, this was an excellent time. Again, you guys can find me here on YouTube. You can check out some older videos that I really haven't been keeping up with my channel lately, unfortunately. But you can find me typically on Monday nights. I'm over on Shellback's channel at 9 o'clock Eastern. Doing the warm-up to Comics Division's Yelling at Parked Cars show. And then you can find me here every week on Tuesdays, chatting with you guys and having a great time. Have a good one, everybody. Looking forward to doing this again with you in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks, Steven. And Steven is so humble because, you know, he helps out so much with the show. I mean, that's my producer dude. He is the man. You know, and I do lean on Steven quite a bit, and he does an amazing job for me. So
yeah, it's no problem.
You know, thank you again, chat. Because without you guys, there is no us. There is no channel. There is no show. You guys are amazing. You know, and you guys are so much a part of the show. Whether you know, everybody from Trina, who is like doing, you know, an outstanding job modding, to Small Time Republic, Matt, to Ruben, to Glinzer, you know, all of you guys are amazing. Time Prophet, and you know, Chris, and just my goodness, everybody that was here today. You know, we had a smaller crowd in John DeBelvis. Again, thank you. We had a smaller crowd, but you know what? It's a small but mighty crowd. And I love the fact that you guys are here, that you guys are passionate, that you guys care about the country, what is happening in the world. We need this. We need this kind of energy. We need this because this is what's going to turn into what you see in Armenia, what you see in Sri Lanka. We need this kind of energy. We need that populist energy. We need people energy to say, hey, we're done with this. So continue to, again, be here on Tuesdays because I'm always going to shine the light where a lot of people won't. I will talk about the things a lot of people won't. So thank you again, folks, for being here. Thank you for your help, too. Thanks for looking out for me, for helping me in this terrible, terrible situation I'm going through. You guys have been awesome. You know, whether every people are there for moral support, whether you guys have helped monetarily, whether you guys have just shared different links that I put out. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You guys are the best of humanity. And I'm so happy that I can do this with you every Tuesday. So that said, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I love you guys. I will see you probably Sunday for the Midnight Prism. And then we'll see you again next Tuesday for sure. So take care of yourselves. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm Temple Kuyan of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up, what up, what up?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Vinny.
The voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear.
What's going on, Tommy? You didn't get anybody to like this?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tony, Death, Rockin'.
We have a lot of cool things over there. I did some magic tricks.
Hi guys, try to stay here.
My name is Monkey Knight.